Hello everyone, thanks for coming back. It's December daily day 10 and I'm just starting out with a little bit of a haul. My mum, my sister and I went to town earlier and I got these washi tapes from Tiger. So I'm just going to pull them out and show you a quick sample of what each one looks like. It was a set of 3, I think it was about £2 for all 3 of them. And then this ribbon is like a velvety red ribbon, which was £1 as well from Tiger. And then I got these lights from John Lewis actually. I'm pretty sure they were like £2.50 or £3.50. They're just white lights, so I'm going to use them on a journal. That holly that you just saw was the holly that I used on my 2018 cover. So I just picked up some more. And this fabric was reduced to Christmas fabrics and I got 90 centimetres, that's all that was left on the roll. And then I got 50 of this one. They were both reduced, so got some of that. I love that holly. I went to my sister's this evening to do some journaling. I noticed the lighting is quite good at my sister's house. I might have to go there more often. This video is a bit of a mishmash. I really struggled with what to do tonight. So these papers, I've put a traveller's notebook junk journal together. And I tried to do another one, and when I sewed, my sewing settings were wrong, the stitches were too close together, so it basically sliced all the pages down the middle. So I'm left with just these little scraps now of paper. So I toyed with the idea of adding this little flap on the outside, but then I thought I don't really have that much to write or to stick in fact. I've added the little labels here from the fabric, I'm going to use those. So really a lot of this video is you seeing me kind of just toying around with different things, different placements, just to see a bit of the real process. There might be a bit of pausing and some hand gestures because my sister was sitting across from me. So we spent a lot of time talking and looking over at hers like, what are you doing? Yeah, so it was a bit of a fun evening. It was different. It was a bit of a challenge actually because I kind of had to do like a grab kit, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, I need my corner rounder here and I need that there and I need my embellishments, which I didn't take with me, and so it's kind of a bit of a challenge making do with what I had. I took my snippets box, the good old snippets box, and we both like worked from that. So I'm just going to pull out some random bits. I'm telling my sister here it's a bit random that someone's just cut that corner off, but I've really got caught up with something else. I'm just kind of having a little look through it. It's my sister's hand. Like, oh, I'll have that. Yeah, so we had a good evening. We've had a good day. I'm wearing my Christmassy jumper. I've got my Christmas Pandora on, so I'm feeling very festive today. So I was thinking I wanted to decorate this little pocket, so I think at this point I'm looking for little bits and pieces in my snippets box just to add on to that. And then I liked the idea of the Santa up here and then that there, and I really struggled, and we were chatting away and we were talking about our plans for the weekend and she was doing hers, and you know, so it was just a nice sort of evening of just really moving things around. I did my journaling on the back of this. I didn't really have much to write. We've had a full day of it, but I did my Christmas shopping a little while ago, so I didn't have a load of shopping to do today to kind of warrant writing about all the things that I managed to get and yada. So yeah, a lot of the stuff we got today was just like, oh, that'll do. Well, that's nice. Or that, you know, that's nice for that. I got the crafty bits that you saw at the beginning. I also got some fabric. I'm going to make a sort of a movie night cushion for the 2 kids. So I got some fabric and I got some iron-on vinyl because I'm going to do like a little cushion with some pockets for snacks and the remotes and stuff. So I might share that with you guys. It's just going to be one of those handmade gifts that I do for the kids, and that'll go under the tree because that'll be something from me, not from Santa. And here I'm just looking at the bottom of that page where I tore it off from the day before, thinking, should I cover it? Yeah, I'm not really bothered. And I mind a bit of a torn edge here and a bit of an imperfection there. There's a holly leaf. I'm dying to use that holly leaf. I need to use it somewhere because I just love how it's turned out with the gold embossing around the edge. We did that the other day. My sister came over and we were doing some die cutting and embossing and what have you. So I'm a bit off screen here, but I've stuck that little pocket on the right hand side there. And I show my sister the little bits of tinsel and showing her that the tinsel unfolds and you have like 3 strands that make up the one thick strand. And my sister was trying to do a Christmas tree similar to what I've done as well. So I was kind of just referencing to mine, showing her what I did and how it turned out. And we're back in frame. So I'm just sticking this tinsel across there. My sister actually pointed out, because I was moving this tinsel around the side and on the bottom, and she was like, do you know, that would be good right there. And I thought, do you know what, you're right. So I put it on the sort of open sort of edge for the tags just to sit in there. I know I wanted to use this story. This left hand page originally started as a bit of like a collaging page. I just felt that I would decorate the page because I didn't really have a lot to write down. So I'm just going to have a little play around with different layouts and different sort of bits to add here until it finally comes together. It actually comes together quite nicely and I like how it's come together. I do have one more element to add, but I'll probably do that tomorrow because I'm not going to lie, I'm fed up of it for tonight. Kirsty's Handmade Christmas is on. It's Tuesday, so I'm going to catch up on tonight's 2 episodes instead. And I'll show you, I'll go back through like the little bits that I add. I think I'm going to add a little holly onto this as well because it needs some green. It becomes very red heavy eventually, so I need to add some green. And I was showing this to my sister as well. I did this for my Cricut, but I didn't feel that I could stick it on to this spread because I didn't have my ink with me, and I think it's a bit flat and it needs some inking around the edge or something. It needs some embellishment on it before I can actually use it. So that'll get used another day. Yes, it becomes very red heavy, so I'm going to add some holly, I think, onto it. And on the bottom, so where that doily is, I'm going to stick over that. We had our coffee and cake in John Lewis. If you've got my John Lewis card, you get your coffee and cake voucher, so we had that today. I used the app to claim my coffee and cake, and I have the actual voucher still, which I didn't have with me at my sister's, and I'm going to add onto that page, and I'll write a little note to say that's what it was. Yeah, so this is the page that I'm going to end up using. This is one of those pages that came out of that traveller's notebook, and I'm going to use it. I'm just sticking it in. Just going to stick it as is because I just quite liked the way it looked, and it just, I don't know, it just works. As I say, I like how it's just come together. It's something a bit random, and it's just because I was taking that book apart, I thought it was right. It was just rather fitting to use one of those pages in today's spread. So I literally just glued it down. I'm going to trim the edge off, and then I'm going to work to complete this page. So it's been, as I say, a bit of a mishmash video, a lot of just putting things here and changing my mind and moving things about, so I hope you don't mind, but I think this video really shows you the actual process I go through, and I've said before in a previous video, I don't plan this out. And I obviously I have an idea of what I need to get into the journal, what I'm writing about, because I know what I've done that day. And I look at my spread, and then some days, like today, not much has happened. We didn't take many photos. I think we took 1 or 2 photos, but they didn't turn out amazingly. So I didn't use the photos from today. Apologies again, I'm out of frame here. I'm just putting in some washi samples. I think I must move the page down in a minute so you can see. I'm putting washi samples at the top there, which is those 3 strips of washi that I bought from Tiger, just to kind of showcase a few, here we go, showcase a few of the things that I actually bought today. I thought I'd make a little bit of a feature out of that instead. I couldn't work, I knew I had some labels at home, and I said to my sister, I think it needs a black and white label as opposed to yet more red. So I looked through my snippets box just to see if there was anything in there that would work. I was thinking maybe a plain bit of paper. In the end I settled, I was showing my sister that little folder that I made. I actually handed one over to her and said, oh, that would have been good. I was showing her how that would be good on a page, and said you could add it here and it would be a flip out. Anyway, so I was thinking that I needed a label just to kind of say what the washi strips are. So I decided to make one, and I'm going to use this little bit of paper and I'm just going to draw a label out. I don't like my first attempt. My writing's not amazing, but I thought I'd try a different font. And yeah, so a couple of labels came about, and actually they look quite nice. They look a bit rustic, they're clearly hand drawn. Yes, I know that box is horrendous. I think the tablecloth that my sister's got is quite cushiony, and I would think I was just pressing too hard. So here I am, just drawing it out again, and I should do my writing inside that box. Cursive is not my strong point, especially with a ballpoint pen. I can do like the foligraphy. When I'm really concentrating and I'm drawing it out first, I can do the writing and make it look nice, like I did on my hot chocolate menu. But yeah, just kind of writing this way doesn't really come naturally to me. But we've got to have a go at these things, haven't we? So my little makeshift label is now going to sit at the top there, and I'm actually quite happy with how it looks, if I'm honest. I didn't love the font. Well, not the font, I didn't love the way like the last word was just squished on the bottom there, so I thought I'd just rewrite it quickly. So I'm literally just doing that on the back, and it works out a lot better. It's the same, I've written the same thing, it's exactly the same, I'm just rewriting it to make it better. I've literally left in all the footage from this evening into this video. I've not done any editing, I've only sped it up. Where you see the changes between like so obviously the camera's been switched off and switched on again. That's because we went to make a cup of tea, and then one of the kids came in, and then we had to go and find some biscuits, and then so I switched the camera off and switched it back on at certain points, but everything I recorded tonight is in this video. I'll show my sister here how I was originally going to use this. I was going to washi tape it in and use it as a bit of a flap, a little flip out. I might still even do that just to fill in that top left of that page. And yeah, I like the way it looks actually. I originally thought to myself I just want to do the whole tree, but actually the little flap would work there, so it might end up being added. This quote I'm adding in here, I originally had in last year's journal. I had it earmarked for last year's journal, but it ended up just floating about, and I like it. It's from the Christmas Carol, and I've kind of outlined it with the twine, and it's the famous quote where it says, "I will honour Christmas in my heart and keep it all the year," and it's basically where Scrooge learns and he kind of realises the lesson that the ghosts have taught him, and I just like that little message of Christmas. Yeah, so I'm just going to stick it in here just because it works, and I just came across it in the bottom of the box and thought, yeah, I'm just going to pop it in. So I'm going to stick that in here. You saw me just holding that green bow up. That was me thinking, I said at the beginning of the video, it needs some green, so I'm going to add the holly. I don't use the bow in the end, so it didn't quite fit in anywhere, but this page does need some green. You can see it's a bit red heavy. It does have that green on those flowers, but I think the prominent colour, especially with those tickets on the right, is very red very, very red. So here I am trying to just add in something to break it up. I'm using this holly washi just on the edge there, and I use a little bit more as well on the bottom. And I found the tinsel, the green tinsel, so I was pulling it apart into the smaller strands, and I'm going to add some of that up the top where the washi is as well, again just to give it some texture, some movement up there, and to give that little dose of green in that section. So you'll have to let me know if you prefer this style of video, where it's a bit more haphazard and it's just, you know, a very real natural process, or whether you prefer it to be a bit more organised. I prefer watching Plan with Me's or Journal with Me's or whatever, with Me's, any sort of craft with Me's, and I'm there. I prefer to watch them when they are like this, and it's a very real process, because it makes me feel better about my process. Sometimes, I mean, I enjoy watching the ones that are planned out as well, but I think I find it much more relatable to watch a process like this, where I am literally just sat here doing my junk journal. You know, there's no frills, it's not camera ready necessarily. I'm just recording what I'm doing and sharing it with you guys. This button I got from John Lewis as well. It's like a little red sparkly button. I think it works just on this little tab that's randomly sticking out from that page that I stuck down. I'm just going to stick it on. If I'd have been at home, I probably would have used some green or even gold twine just to thread the button, and I might still do it because it is a tab, so it's not attached to the page necessarily, so I could probably get a needle underneath there and pop some twine in, but I mean, it just depends if I have a free moment at some point and fancy doing that. But again, later down the line, I enjoy my journal, so I do like going back and adding things as I think, oh, that would look nice there, you know, so I might end up doing that at some point. So I'm going to make another label here, which basically tells me that the button here is just a random button that I found in John Lewis, and I just liked it, so in it goes. And as before, I need to write it out several times. I was trying to do the box first and then do the writing into the box, and then I thought, well, that's a bit silly. Why not do the writing and then do the box around the writing, which makes far more sense. So that's what I've done here. I'm just going to stick that next to the button. And as I said earlier, again at the beginning of the video, I am going to add my coffee and cake voucher, and I'll put a label there as well. So I've like left this little piece of paper aside, ready to do that. And I'll probably do that tomorrow, so when I do tomorrow's spread, I'll make sure that I complete this spread at the same time, so I'll show you that when it's all done. And we're back in frame. So yeah, that's just going to sit right there. And I do like I say, I do like the way it's come about and the way it looks together. I like those little labels from the fabric, and you know, the way the washi just sits there, and it just, yeah, it's nice. And like, after all the faffing about and moving things here and there and not quite being sure of what I want to do, I'm really pleased with how it's come together. I always am. This section is it's not part of a spread for me. I've just stuck it on the edge of a page. It's just a random page, and I did that right at the beginning. And it's basically my lists. So here I am ticking off all the generic things that I buy at Christmas, so the TV Times, wrapping paper, tags and bows, that sort of thing. And I'm just ticking them off as I've bought them. And these two, the Ho 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 paper, these two lists are the kids' Christmas present lists. I had to turn the camera off there because I wanted to update the presents that I'd bought for the kids, but my list was on my phone, so I had to turn the camera off, scribble them down, and then obviously go back to recording and then write it up. So these are the complete lists of all the things that the kids have got for Christmas this year. And I'll probably go back in and mark like stocking gifts and things like that. This is not including their Christmas Eve bags. So some may feel this is excessive. It probably is. But yeah, this is all the stuff that the kids have got. And they've got the Christmas Eve sack on top of this, but there's only a few bits in there that are quite practical. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you back here tomorrow for December Daily Day 11. See you then, guys. Bye.